Hi, I'm Claudia Cooley of Rev Up for Success, and I'm a professional success and life enrichment coach, and I thrive on teaching the kind of information we're going to cover today. And what we're going to explore is having powerful communication and leadership styles that rev up your success, your relationships, your bottom line, your finances, your sales presentations, everything that you're going to work within. That's what we're going to be talking about today, because once you know these skills, it's going to change your life. So the first thing I want to talk about is this is a mind shift. And how many of you have ever seen this picture of this woman that you don't know if it's an old woman or a young woman? And on this, I want you to think about, who do you see first, and can you figure out where the other one is? Now, when I look at it, I see the old woman first, and I've seen that even when I was a young person. I see the old woman first. But if you look a little longer, I start to see the young woman. And I want you to take a chance, take time to figure that out and look at it and see if you can get your mind to see both things. In the process of doing that, what you're doing is opening up the possibilities to explore new things. Have you ever thought about, there's nobody else in the world just like you, so how do we really adjust to people that have different styles than us? Or if you're in sales, how do you communicate with somebody that has a different hearing and thinking and feeling process than you do? So that's what we're going to talk about today. When you're building connections, community, and your tribe, if you build it with powerful communication and leadership skills, you're going to have much more of a successful environment of people around you, and you're going to be a huge influencer within your community and your tribe. The benefits to you from learning these things that we're going to talk about today is better relationships, more financial success, and personal success. Who doesn't want more of that? I bet you all do. So what we're talking about today is the leadership and communication styles, and you're going to see when you look, you're going to find this actually, you can see it here on our presentation today. You will also find it on page 90 of my brand new Mind Shifts book, which just went to #1 on the bestseller list. You find it in Dud to Stud, which was written a couple years ago, and it's on page 48. You'll find the same picture and a full description of each of the categories that we're going to talk about today. But just for fun, let's just start through the process. The very first of the leadership styles I like to start with is the lion. So let me back up a little bit. Let's go back to this page right here. And you're going to see here that there is numbers going across the page and numbers going down the page. When you go across, that's people that are more assertive. They get more assertive as you go across the grid. As you come down, it's responsive. So the further down you go, the more responsive or sensitive a person becomes. So when we look at this, if we go across over here, the lion's the first one, most assertive, and really the least sensitive. But they are the people that are the controllers. They like to win. They like the bottom line. So if you're working with somebody that's a lion, don't go give them a bunch of details. They don't want it. They just want the facts. They love to delegate. They're great leaders. That's why they usually end up being owners of companies or CEOs or somewhere in the management team. They're time conscious. They want to know that you're being productive and that they're being productive. They're task-oriented. And if you go into their office, they're going to have everything organized. They love to have the certificates on the wall, but they're nicely displayed, not just stuck up there with a thumbtack. They're in really nice frames. They have nice desks. They like things nice. So that would be the lion. The next one over here, let's come down on the page, and you'll see now we are still high assertive, but we're low, or we're high also in sensitivity. So this person I like to call the monkey, because they are the promoter. They love to have fun at everything they do. They get excited about being around people. Don't lock them in a room to work by themselves. If you're one of those, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They don't like to be alone. They enjoy life with a flair, and they're full of energy, and they like teamwork. They really would rather work with a team than be on their own, and they're creative, very, very creative. I'm going to come back and give you an example of each of these in a work environment so that you can see how you relate. The next one, we're going to come across on the bottom. Not very assertive. They're like in the #1 category of assertive, but they're very sensitive. They're like at 10 in sensitive, and I like to call them the turtle. And the turtle's the supporter. They like to be comfortable. They like to wear comfortable clothes, by the way. The supporter, their supporter, they work well alone. They're liked. They're always liked because they never do anything to ruffle anybody's feathers. They're not a clock watcher. They don't watch the time. They will work 24/7 to get done what you have asked them to do. They're not necessarily initiators. They work well with a list. So if you're going to be working with a turtle, they love the honey-do list or the check-off list. And if they do something that's not on the list, they love adding it on so that they can check it off. They work well with directions, as I'm just saying, and they're slow decision makers. They may take up to 24 hours to process in an area. Don't get impatient with them because they'll still come up with great wisdom. But just give them the time. Back off and give them the space. Otherwise, you'll see that deer in the headlight. And what's a turtle do if they get frustrated? They go in their shell and hide. So just let them have their space and their freedom to be who they're meant to be. Actually, each area we want to give people the space to be who they're meant to be. Leadership #4 is the giraffe. Let's come back up to the top of the page, and you're going to see that they are not high on assertive and they're not high on sensitivity. They love to be accurate. They are detail-oriented. They're analyzers. They're great scientists, by the way, and CPAs, people that love to fool with figures and math. They work alone well. They are detail-oriented. They think of pros and cons. They're always weighing issues. They're excellent problem solvers, and we like to call these people the wise ones. In our family, we have a mixture of these, and you will see that in your own family. In a work environment, you're going to have a mixture of these. So let me give you a little story. Let me kind of just be patient with me here. Let me give you a little story. Let's say you go into the bank and I go into the bank. I want to get a loan. I want to buy a little red Miata. And I go into the bank and I go to the lion first. And I say, and he's the loan manager, and I end up with the lion. And I go in and I tell him, oh, I want this little red Miata. It does this. I've wanted this all my life. I'm so excited because now and he's just like, what is it? What's it going to cost? What do I need to do for you? And then he gives me the paperwork, and I'm going, don't you need more details? He said, do you want the car or not? You know, this is all you need. So he doesn't want all your story. He doesn't want to hear all those details. He wants to move on, get the job done. Let's say I went into the giraffe, the next one. Let's say I didn't go to the lion. I went to the giraffe over here, which is low assertive and low in sensitivity, but very organized. So I go in and the office is all organized. There's like all the shelves around with color coding on the notebooks and the little folders, and there's all the pencils and the pens on the desk, and it's all color coded. And you tell him I want a loan, I want a little red Miata, and he pulls out the yellow pen and says sign on the line with the yellow line, and he's all color coded. And you say okay, and you do what you need, and you get the loan. Let's say you go to the next one, the turtle. You go in with the turtle, and the turtle has everything perfect for you, but he says, let me get my boss to look at this and make sure I've done everything correct. The boss comes in and said, you know what? Homer's been doing this for 25 years. He's excellent at it, but he just wants to be so thorough. He wants to make sure he does everything so that you can get your loan, get your car. And you get your loan. But he just wants to be really careful and take care of you. Let's say I go to the monkey. Now the monkey's just having a good time. I walk in his office, there's paper all over. He's been throwing wads of paper at the basketball hoop on the wall. Hasn't hit it yet. And so there's those wads of paper. He's on the phone talking to friends, and he says, oh, I gotta go, somebody's here, but hey, have fun at that basketball game, and I'll see you down at Clara's after work. And then he sets up and he says, hey, how can I help you? And you say, oh, I want this little red Miata. I want to get a loan for it. So now he picks up a wad, a stack of stuff on his desk, puts it under his arm, and hollers out to his secretary and says, Sally, we're going to go try out a Miata. We're going to go drive this Miata. We're going to get this loan for this lady. So that's the different styles, and you see how they show up, but you get the loan from each of them. They each are very efficient. They really want to give you the best service, but they just all have different styles. So if you can learn this about people, not only in your work environment, building teams, also in your home environment, it's going to really help you be more successful in serving people and then getting what you need from relationships too. So what's your style? Do you have a clue? So I hope you can figure this out. You can keep exploring it. Like I said, this information's in these books. You can go on the website and see a little bit more on claudiacooley.com/mind shifts for success. So check that out and find out what your style is. And remember, coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is the progress. Working together is success. So keep working together, find better and better ways to do that. So this is all about powerful communication and leadership styles and the difference it can make in your success. Claudia Cooley, thank you for joining me.